everyone, today I am doing another Pride makeup video since Pride Month is basically over. Might actually be over by the time I upload this, but you know, I tried my best. I've really been wanting to do this makeup look all month and I just didn't get around to it. So I tried to plan this look out a little bit more, but there still might be some mishaps. I don't know, I'm not gonna promise perfection in this video, but I wanted to also kind of chat with you guys and do that format again instead of a time lapse like I've done a lot in the past. So yeah, let's get right into it. So you know me, I love to start out with some sunscreen. This is the Sun Young Mild Defense Sun Cream. Like I mentioned in my last video, this is absolutely one of my favorites. I am obsessed. I've been using it every day since I got it and basically just want to kind of throw every other sunscreen I've used to date in the trash. This is just really nice and it really leaves a nice glow underneath foundation too, which is a blessing to this world, honestly. With dry skin, it's really hard to get that nice glow. So for my foundation, I'm going to be using the NYX Total Control Drop Foundation. Now, I think this is supposed to be mixed in with something, and that's how I generally used to use it, but I've noticed that if I apply it directly to the face, I end up using a lot less product than if I mix it with like a moisturizer or like that sunscreen. So I'm going to be very carefully just like applying a little bit. I try really hard not to touch it to my skin directly. It's a little hard to do without a mirror. I think I used way too much, but I also need like one hand to hold my mirror, you know? So I'm just going to blend this out. So with this foundation, you definitely get a lot lighter coverage than most foundations, but that's part of what I really like about it, honestly, because it doesn't feel heavy at all. It's not like the Fenty foundation that I've used a lot and that kind of stuff. It's very lightweight, and that's why it's really good to mix with a moisturizer, because then you can get it a little bit stickier. But if you apply a moisturizer right before it and then immediately apply the drops directly on the skin right after, I've noticed that it works really nicely. You just want to make sure not to like try to touch the dropper directly to your skin, because that's how bacteria forms really easily, and that's what I was trying really hard not to do. It was kind of hard to do on camera because I didn't want to like spill it everywhere, but yeah, it's important to be mindful that you're not like squeezing it right on your skin. Just like with skincare products, you don't want to touch the dropper directly to your skin. You don't want to do that with makeup either. So now we are going in with some concealer. I'm using the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer, and I'm just going to be applying a little bit of this under the eyes and in red areas. I have a little bit of redness on my chin here. Here there's a couple small little blemishes. So now I'm just going to be finishing off the skin with a little tiny bit of translucent powder. I'm using the Maybelline Master Fix setting powder, and I'm just going to use a little tiny bit kind of like on the nose, cheeks here, and chin, because like I mentioned before, I have very dry skin and you really don't want to use a lot of powder. Most days I don't even wear any at all, but I'm trying to get a really nice canvas for this look because I plan to put a lot of rainbow colors on my face, and I really want to make sure we're starting out with a good base. So to prime my eyes, I am using the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. I'm just going to use a very small amount of this. So I'm going to be keeping my eyebrows pretty natural for this look. I'm just using like a soft brown on these today. Now I'm going to set these brows with the Essence Gel Mascara. Alright, so this look is mainly going to focus on rainbows underneath my eyes, on the lower lash line here, and on the face. Hopefully it works out how it does in my head, because I did not test this at all like before to ensure that you're gonna get like a perfect tutorial or something, but that's not what we're here for. We're here to have fun, you know? I'm actually going to be starting with pinks on the lid because there's no pinks in the rainbow, and I just felt like for my personal look, I needed some pink in my rainbow look. So I'm going to be starting off with the pink that is in this Too Faced Clover palette, and it is called Love is Love, which is very fitting, you know? I'm just gonna dip in with a flat brush and pack on some color. So I thought that I could kind of talk about in this video a little bit my personal experience with being queer, especially because a lot of you know I live in Utah, which is an extremely conservative state, and there is very little separation of church and state here. A lot of our politicians are members of the LDS Church, or you may know them as Mormons. So that definitely affects a lot of things here. A lot of people are very homophobic, very anti-gay, anti-trans, anti, basically most progressive things. It's very, very unfortunate. So I kind of messed up the top of this here, so I'm going to just blend out the top a little bit before I add my crease color and everything. It's kind of funny because I haven't encountered a ton of homophobia in my day-to-day life, but I know that it's out there because I feel like when it has happened, it's been so random because I don't encounter it as much in my close personal circle, and because I don't get out much, you know, I tend to not notice it, and so when it does happen, it's really it really seems shocking, but I know deep down, I shouldn't be shocked because the whole state is this way, and I'm lucky that I live in a bigger city where there's less problems and there's a lot of change happening. I went to a pretty liberal university, so I consider myself pretty lucky in that regard, but at the same time, it is hard to exist knowing that so many people don't support you, and knowing that you have to hide a part of who you are. And for me, it's I never really did the whole big coming out thing. I could never tell my coming out story. I could definitely tell you about how I realized that I was queer and that kind of journey, but I don't think I really have a coming out story to share because I didn't really come out in the way most people think about, having to sit your friends and family down and be like, hey, guess what? But for me, it was kind of I just casually mentioned it to my mom one day. And yeah, from there, it was kind of I don't know. My family just kind of knew. They didn't really ask a lot of questions about it or anything. So I'm going to be using the shade Paw Print in my crease, by the way. And unfortunately, I do have to stay a little quiet to some of my extended family because I know not everyone is super accepting, and I feel sometimes people don't really need to know unless it's directly going to affect them in any way. I don't need to talk about my dating life with them unless it's a super serious relationship or something, you know? So it's until I'm ready to bring a girl home, if I ever am, honestly, that's when they will get to know, you know? Because I shouldn't say homophobia doesn't exist within my close family and friends, because it definitely does. I have at least one friend that I hang out with now that 3 years ago was super, super homophobic, and had to change and evolve as a person, and I really admire that. But I do still have family that I think are beyond the point of being able to change, and it is really sad that I can't be really excited oh, I went on this date with this girl, you know? I can't do that with some of my family, and I mean, I'm not all that upset about it because I am generally really private about my dating life to those people anyway, but sometimes it's just I want to brag a little bit, and I know I can't, so I try to be really quiet about it. Even with guys, I don't say anything just because I don't want to have that expectation that I'm gonna tell them about my dating life, you know? Because it's going all these different ways, frightens me for the future, but you know, I can't let that affect like who I date. You know, I'm gonna date who I like, and everybody else can get over it. For the rainbow, I'm really not even gonna get into how many different palettes I have here spread out that I'm going to have to use for this. So I won't really even bother naming each individual palette, but I'm going to do the lower lash line rainbow now. I'm going to be starting from the inner corner with the red and then going out to purple here. I'm going to be doing 6 different colors. Let's go. So at the very end here, I'm kind of winging out the purple. So off camera really quick, I don't want to skip any steps really. I'm going to be going and getting my brush wet and then touching up some of these colors because some of them just aren't bright enough in the overall scheme of things. So I'm going to do that and be right back. Okay, I am back with a much cleaner rainbow. It's really nice how much just a wet brush really brightened up some of these colors, especially the yellow. So now I'm going to be using the Revolution Makeup Strobe Lighting palette, and I'm going to be just using a little bit of this pearlescent holographic sort of whitish color. I don't really know what to call this color, honestly, but I'm going to be using a little teeny bit of that in the inner corner just to brighten up the look. I really love Revolution highlighters a lot. They're a blessing, and they're not too expensive either, which is what I really love about them, because sometimes it feels like you have to spend like all the money in the world to get nice makeup, but you don't always, you know. You can pick and choose what you want from high end and low end and not sacrifice too much quality if you can't afford to have an entire arsenal of high-end products. I'm going to be using just a little bit of white eyeliner on my lower waterline. So this is the NYX retractable eyeliner. So I'm going to be going back with the Revolution highlighter again, and this time I'm going to be applying a little bit to the brow bone. Okay, so I'm not going to be doing any eyeliner because I don't want to have a big black line on top of all this that I just created. But I am going to be wearing false lashes with this look, but before we touch the lashes, I'm going to be going in with this big brush and applying some colors to my face. So like the red will start up here, then like orange, yellow, green, blue, and then probably ending around here, like under my cheekbone with the purple. We're gonna see how this goes because this is a big experiment. Okay, so now that that is done, I was going to do this on both sides, but I actually am kind of digging this look on just the one side. I'm going to attempt to add some little white dots with the white eyeliner. It might not work very well because I don't have a liquid white. So now I'm going to be adding some little gem things, just these pearlescent things. I've used them on a lot of my costumes as well as on my face a lot of times. So I've got a couple different colors. I've got like that greenish color and some pink and purple. I'm just going to be putting those on this rainbow side of my face. I'm using eyelash glue to stick them on, by the way. Alright, so now that I've kind of placed those randomly on there. Hopefully they're in focus, I can't really tell. I feel like that's a nice side piece kind of done. So now it's time to apply some lashes, and I'm just going to do this off camera because it didn't go super well last time. Alright, so now that I've got my lashes on, I kind of feel like this is a little bit of a butterfly sort of look. I don't know, that might just be that I chose like really long, wispy sort of lashes today. But honestly now, like, I can't unsee it. It's like this is like the wing of the rainbow. So to kind of balance out this look on both sides, I'm going to be adding a little bit of highlight. Yet again, same Makeup Revolution highlighter. And it feels kind of weird to not have blush on this side, but I kind of like having blank space. Now for the lips, I'm going to be using a bright pink shade. This is the Revlon Color Burst Lip Butter in the shade Lollipop. I can't believe I've never like actually done a rainbow makeup look before. I mean, not even like off video. I've never done one like at all. So, you know, bucket list item checked off today. So now to top off this whole thing, we're gonna get even more shiny. I'm using the NYX Duochromatic Lip Gloss in the shade Lucid. This is a really pretty holographic gloss. It's just like, I don't know, I've been obsessed with it. Now I didn't apply too much, but you can see like how shiny that is on camera. It makes me really happy, you know? It's the little things in life you gotta enjoy in this hell year 2020. So now I think I need to fix this hair a little bit so it stays in place out of my really long lashes. But I'm really happy with it. It's not like 100% what I imagined initially, but I like this better than my original plan, honestly. So, actually one thing I forgot, I'm finishing this off with the NYX Matte Finish Setting Spray. I'm really excited to take some pictures of this in a bit. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry I didn't really get around to talking about more stuff about my experience being queer. I wanted to say more, but I just couldn't really think of what to say. But let me know if you'd like to see more videos where I talk about those things, because I really do want to speak on them if they are going to help people in any way. But I think that's all I have to say today. Be sure to leave this video a like and maybe a comment if you've got something you'd like to say to me, and subscribe, and you can check out all my social media in the description box down below. I will see you all next time. Bye!